Hello and welcome back. I'm Shelf Unit and this is my... Ooh, what's in here? I keep forgetting if I put stuff in here. Oh, it's just something there. This is my Let's Play of Underrail. So I think it might be the next level up that I want to go to, unless this is the shortest area. This is the shortest area, I think. Is anyone around here? I keep forgetting. Can I come in here? Okay, I can come in here. Okay. So let's go and infiltrate the Tortoises. Okay, this isn't where I want to go. I've already been here. I must have already been here. Must have already been here. So let's assume that they're on the next level up. Okay. Let's assume they're on the next level up. Unless I got this wrong. No, I must have gotten this wrong. Nowhere. There's Cortac. Where the hell is the Tchort Institute? I know where this bloody place is. This isn't it, is it? No, that's Praetorian Enforcer. Oh, come on, where is it? 1 minute. And we're here. It was in Upper Underrail, just this way. So... Oh, we have a cutscene. As the Roadman hurriedly steps outside, all three soldiers standing in front of him simultaneously take a small bow whilst having their hands placed on their chests. Right around the heart area. Once the salute is finally over, the middle soldier takes a single step forward and addresses him. Tchort is evolution, Effrator. The Effrator responds by performing an identical salute, excluding the bow. Evolution is Tchort, brother. Tell me, did you manage to find anything? I'm afraid not, Effrator. We scanned the surrounding area but found nothing other than a handful of isolated groups of bandits and scavengers. No one possessed what we seek. I'm afraid our initial reports might just be true. Lunatics must have been behind the theft. All leads simply point to those devolved inbreds. I will be the judge of that, brother. His stare passes over each and every one of the three individuals. Rasophoros, you all deserve rest. Meanwhile, I will wait for the second unit to arrive. They should be here soon, he sighs. Magnificent, Tchort. He looks at them again. I said, go and get some rest. Don't just stand there like you're frozen. Inside. He points to the big front gate. Tchort guide you, Effrator. Yes, Tchort guide me. Okay. So it looks like whatever they were stolen may itself have been stolen. There's Daphne. Kale, Morris, Commoner. Let's talk to Daphne. A petite young woman appears to be lost in thought, her gaze fixed on some distant spot far behind you. Upon approaching her, she looks at you and smiles, making her cheeks plump up. When she speaks, her voice has a mostly pleasant timbre, but there is also a hint of abrasiveness from time to time, sounding like she suffered some degree of damage to her voice. "Hey, stranger, are you also here to join the Tortoises?" "Maybe. What can you tell me about them?" "Oh, well, if you are, join the line, huh? But first, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Daphne. Nice to meet you. Sarah Evenstar. Nice to meet you too, Daphne." "Sarah Evenstar. Got it. Okay, Sarah Evenstar, let's talk." "Okay. What can you tell me about yourself?" "I'm a geneticist from Foundry." "And what exactly do you mean by that?" "You see, Foundry is a station town. Call it what you will. It revolves around a single thing, mining. Well, mining, processing, and manufacturing products out of ore that has been mined out. True. But the most important aspect is that such a place has no room for, say, a biologist. It's like a fisherman on a train station. He's got nothing to do. Anyway, I had to get out of there." "How did you end up there in the first place?" "My parents brought me there when I was little. Money was good, sure, but if we had gone to Southgate or rail crossing, we would have been golden. But, oh well, I ended up there. Years went by, I grew older. 'No more will I waste my time in that dump,' I said to myself. 'I have aspirations, and I'm going to study as much as I can, get out of that hole and move forward in life.' Isn't it a bit dangerous to travel around alone?" "Technically, it's more dangerous to live in Foundry. I'm not exaggerating, Sarah Evenstar. Nope." "What can you tell me about the Tchortists?" "From what I know, the Institute of Tchort is a research organization that celebrates a creature called Tchort. Supposedly that creature's genome is very unique, and whatever they learn from it can be applied to humans as well. I've heard the terms like directed evolution and conquering the surface, but I won't comment on those until I know more. This is their main building. They supposedly have facilities in deep caverns as well. It's pretty much all I know. It's not my fault, it's just that information down there is kind of scarce." "Did you perhaps see any of the Tortoises carrying a strange artifact? It looked like a 20-sided polyhedron." "What you described, no, I haven't, but I remember a large group of Tortoises coming back from Core City. That's what I overheard. And they seemed to have something pretty valuable with them. Again, I sort of overheard them talk." "What happened then?" "They went inside. What else? Anyway, that's all I can remember seeing. Bye." It's Maurice, Kale, Commoner, Frowning Man. You approach this person in an attempt to start a conversation. He responds with a glance, followed by him turning his head away from you. His face seems to be stuck in a perpetual frown, making him look like he's constantly angry. Whether he is or not, you remain unsure. "I am Sarah Evenstar, and I had some questions for you." He looks at you and waits a couple of seconds, and then decides to respond. "Don't care about your name, Zona. As far as those questions of yours are concerned, go bug someone else." "What can you tell me about yourself?" He seems irritated by your question. "Will you leave me alone already? Which part of go bug someone else did you misunderstand?" "Go as far away as possible from me. Bug as in annoy, rile, bother someone else, as in someone that is not me. Get in now? What do you know about the Tchortists?" His frown becomes even more pronounced. "Deaf, stupid, or both?" "Let's say both. Therefore I'd have to lower myself to your intellectual level so that I may be able to convey the message I have been trying to convey for some time now. Here it is. ... Shoo! Don't speak to me ever again. ... Why are you here, and what can you tell me about this place?" He spits the words through his teeth. "What kind of moron are you? Leave me alone or I'll zone you on that spot." Who is this? What? Filthy and foul-smelling old man gives you a wicked stare akin to a serpent's, one with a slight mental retardation. Oof. Afterwards, he opens his mouth so wide it makes him look like he's just about to vomit. He doesn't, thankfully, but still holds the expression, saying nothing at "Excuse me" any point during his peculiar introduction. "Hello, I am Sarah Evenstar. Who are you?" He yells loudly, "What?" Just repeat that. "I'm Sarah Evenstar. Who are you?" "What?" "So long, you derailed idiot." Anyone in here? I don't think so. Detritus. You approach a young man standing next to a barrel full of boiling soup, which doesn't smell nearly as life-threatening as it looks. He wears old, worn-out, but clean clothes that look like they could easily disintegrate should he stand next to a passing train. His physique, on the other hand, is much more solid. Handsome, with a burly body covered in clear, uniformly toned skin that, combined with his unusually milky white teeth, makes him look like he was created to simply stand still and look good. His calloused and heavily scarred hands, however, imply the opposite. "Hey, need something?" "Hey, good looking. I'm Sarah Evenstar. Interested in a little chat?" "I can't say no." He smiles. "I'm Detritus. It's a pleasure to meet you, Sarah Evenstar. What did you want to chat about?" "What can you tell me about yourself?" First he seems a bit uneasy about the question, but then decides to answer it. I am a simple zoner from Core City who's searching for something better in life. Heard of Drop Zone? I lived there my whole life. Awful place to live in. Awful people, awful food. Excuse me. Ay. If you can get your hands on some, and in general it's awful. Well, we did hear about the drop zone, but only recently, because we didn't know what it was called. Is there anything good about the zone for you? Family, I suppose. Nothing else really comes to mind. Excuse me? But the zone enjoys taking away good things from you. Plague swept my whole family away. Father, mother, granddad, 5 sisters and 2 brothers. All of them older than me. All gone. It's usually easy to lose life in drop zone, but that plague, that was pure evil. Plague? Yes, sir. A hardcore plague dominated half the zone several years ago. Not a lot of folks know about the plague because nobody really cares what happens in drop zone. But as zoners, we care. My dearest are gone because of that pipe-working plague. You're lucky to be alive. Very lucky. And it's exactly that, luck, because I don't have any explanation why death decided to spare me. I mean, I've never been ill in my whole life, ever. No colds, let alone something more serious. That's interesting. Maybe you're immune to plague somehow. Have you ever been to a doctor? He bursts out laughing. Doctor? No, I'm a zoner, remember? Bah, you don't understand it. You come from a different world, you. It's all just luck. Everything in life is about having luck. That's what I learned. Be good at something, sure, but if you're unlucky, that's that. Nothing helps. Look at my hands. I've been working like a slave my whole life, and everything I earn can be easily chucked down pipeworks. It's miserable. I was lucky enough to survive the plague, but unlucky with everything else. He shrugs, drifting off for a moment. After taking a deep breath, he continues. Anyway, enough of that. Got any more questions? Why are you here and what do you know about this place? This is the Institute of Tchort, a place where Tortoises live and do whatever they do. I went to one of their lectures in Core City. It sounded hardcore even though I didn't understand half of it. Anyway, you look at it, seems a lot better than the zone. He looks at you after a brief pause. So I came here to try my luck. Yeah, maybe there's a better life waiting for me behind that heavy gate. More details about Tortoise, better ask some of the smarter people around here. I'm sure they'll be able to explain it better than I can. What do you know about Tortoises? Tortoises might look like a religious cult, but they're all about science. Now, I'm not a knowledgeable fellow, so I do a lot of the hardcore science stuff is beyond me. But the core idea is that we're all somehow connected to this Tchort creature. Has similar DNA to us and can do some amazing stuff like regenerate and live forever. Adapt to anything, something like that. What's most hardcore is that they, Tchortists, want to use the knowledge gained from Tchort to improve us. Allow us to one day go to the surface and survive there. I definitely prefer that to rotting in the stinky drop zone. Here's the derailed geezer outside. Oh, we know that stinker. He ain't right in the head. He walks around with his people with his filthy gaping mouth. Excuse me? Only thing he ever says is, what? Just that and nothing else. He's not violent, or else he would have had his innards splattered all over the floor by Rassafors by now. Rassafors? That's how the Tortoise soldiers are called. If I understand correctly, I'm guessing the word has some hardcore meaning or something, because it sounds really weird to my ears. Just stay out of their way and you're good. Did you perhaps see any of the Tortoises carrying a strange artifact? Looked like a 20-sided polyhedron. Don't know anything about any polyhedrons and all that hardcore stuff. I'm just a simple zoner who minds his own business. Besides, I spent most of my time here and the view is not the best. Maybe other folks can help you. Goodbye, detritus. That's annoying. I was armored man, foundry worker. Quick save and talk to Mr. Denzel. The man seems somewhat at ease as you come near him, even though you're able to see his face. What you are able to notice is how his body language expresses his apprehension. He is unable to stand completely still. He either taps his foot or crosses and uncrosses his arms, or nervously looks all around him when you near him. You notice a symbol on his uniform, a circular eye with 2 tentacles sprouting from it, similar to the symbol on the large doors behind him. Soon he speaks with a voice that sounds tense and hasty in one moment, cold with the other. What is it? Who are you? Are you one of the Tchortists? I'm infiltrate Denzel, and yes, I am a Tchortist. In case you haven't noticed, you're standing at the entrance to the Institute of Tchort. All these road guards, Rassafors, are its members as well. We're here to preserve the safety of the Institute, so be very careful of your actions during your time here. Your chances, now leave me alone. Can you tell me more about Tchortism and the Institute of Tchort? He sighs. No, I don't have time for that. I'm busy. Not even for a few words? Come on, I'm not asking you to give me a full history of the organisation. If you insist, he sighs. The Institute of Tchort is an institution centred around Tchort, a magnificent creature whose sole existence is a source of unimaginable knowledge and an inspiration to all Tchortists. Ever since our founder, Aideen, first studied Tchort's genome, he discovered the potential to improve mankind, to direct human evolution towards new heights. Tchort is about evolution. Evolution is Tchort. One cannot go without the other. And now, since you've got a brief summary, you're going to leave me alone. I have important work to do. I'd like to become a member of your organisation. I'm sorry, but we can't accept any new members at this particular time. We are full, so to say. As you can see, if you were to look around, all these people here are waiting to join the Institute, but alas, as I've already mentioned, we cannot accept new members. Still, that doesn't stop them from waiting, which is to be respected. Tchort might reward their wait, but not at this time, unfortunately. I don't think you understand me. I really want to become a Tchortist. What is the matter with you? There is vestigial. It's like you can't hear me properly. We do not accept new members. Now buzz off. Buzz off? Is that your answer? I'm so disappointed. I never even suspected that a representative of such a grand and enchanting organisation such as the Institute of Tchort would say something so foul to me. I was willing to dedicate the rest of my days to Tchortism and happily spend those very days surrounded by men and women, brothers and sisters, who are above all a low-life scum inhabiting the rest of Underrail. Magnificent Tchort, you must be some inbred bastard who lost the ability to understand human language several generations ago. He makes a short pause to allow some of the steam to come out and prevent him from exploding. Look, here. You don't want to be disturbing an infiltrate. I can order those Rassifors here to cull you instantly, and they wouldn't even flinch. Order them anything you want. I'm standing my ground here, and I want to join the Institute, and I'm willing to do anything to achieve that goal. Something tells you that despite him just looking just angry on the outside, inside he's probably turning into a ball of plasma, reaching temperatures high enough to ignite nuclear fusion. Suddenly he cools down, and his tone of voice becomes calmer, losing the red-hot edge. Anything you say? Anything you say? Interestingly, there is, well, an issue we could use some help with. Finally, we're getting somewhere. We have an issue with a missing figurine, a very important metal figurine. It was stolen from us, and we need it back. Now, we aren't precisely sure who did it, but we suspect those devolved lunatic inbreds to be behind the theft. They taint everything they touch with their filthy hands. This metal figurine depicts a man reaching to the surface. He points up there, if you can find it. We might make a deal about you joining us, sister. Where should I start looking for it? Well, our Rassifor scouts have learned some time ago that large groups of lunatics were seen in the vicinity of the Emporian shopping mall. It's west of here. If the lunatics are the ones that took the figurine, that would be the best start. What can you tell me about the lunatics? Culling material, no question about it. They're as mentally derailed as one can be and are therefore extremely unpredictable. Their motives, patterns of thought, or anything else about them is impossible to figure out. They're powerful psionics, mind you. That's pretty much the only thing we're sure about them. Why would they want that figurine? I don't know. I don't think even they know. It's all under the assumption that they are the ones who stole the figurine. I'm on the job. I'll find the figurine and bring it here as soon as possible. Do not speak to me unless you have the figurine. Tchort, go. Bah. Now, that sounds very familiar. It sounds really familiar. Really familiar. We've been to the shopping mall. I believe we have the figurine, but I don't know where I put it. And I'm just hoping that I didn't sell it. I'm going to take a look in my barrels. So I shall see you in a bit. And we're back. And look at this. Metal figurine. Metal figurine depicts a man who appears to be reaching out for something. Strangely, you notice a tentacle rising from the base of the figurine, coiling around the man's body and his outstretched arm, ending at the hand in a straight line as if pointing to something. What could it all mean? And I'll see you back at the Tchort Institute. Sometimes it's good to have completed all these quests early. See you in a bit. And we are back. I'm going to talk to the frowning man again, just quickly, just to annoy him enough to hopefully kill him. He angrily waves you away. Oh well. Still. Is this the figurine you were looking for? His voice reveals instant excitement as you show him the figurine. Yes, that's the figurine, all right. Where did you find it? At the big shopping mall west of here. You were right all along. Lunatics were the ones responsible for its theft. Unexpectedly, Denzel falls silent. He looks as if he wants to say something, but perhaps can't find the right words. Hold on, I know what you're thinking. You never thought I'd be able to find and bring you the damn figurine. You just wanted me to leave you alone. Yes and no, mostly yes. Look, I don't owe you an explanation. Listen, he sighs. You did us a great favour. That is undeniable. It's just that I didn't really expect you to be able to accomplish the given task. It's all. I'm just astonished. But you figured that out for yourself as far as I can see. I hope our deal still stands. You will not get this figurine otherwise. Okay, whatever. I got you the figurine as you asked. Now let me in. I want to join the Institute of Tchort. He sighs. A deal is a deal. Hand me the figurine and I'll go inside and discuss your request with my superiors. Stays with me till you come back. You go talk to your superiors first and you see the figurine again. The rest falls around you, turn towards you. You feel the atmosphere beginning to heat up again. Denzel surprisingly cools it back down with a single hand signal to his subordinates. I suppose that is acceptable. But don't leave the courtyard. I'll return soon. Just as he goes to leave, he turns back to you again. Wait a moment. I never caught your name. Sarah Evenstar. Sarah Evenstar. All right, Sarah Evenstar. Just wait in front of the Institute here. I'll be back as soon as I talk to someone. Just be patient. Tchort guide you. Let's wait for him to return. You wait and wait. As more time passes, you begin to wonder if Freighter Denzel is actually going to come back. After all, he couldn't wait to get rid of you the first time he talked. But then you remember that strange metal figurine is still in your hands, and the one Tortoise wants so badly. You begin thinking about the strange piece of metal, about what awaits you ahead. However, your thoughts are soon interrupted by footsteps, following a hurried rhythm you have already heard before. It's a Freighter Denzel. So Evenstar I have talked to. He catches his breath. To the mediant and explain the situation to him. Therefore, the official word is as follows. You will be allowed to enter the Institute building, be interviewed, and if deemed fit, you will be offered the Institute of Tchort membership. All that in exchange for the figurine you possess. Speaking of which, I would like to take it now. Then I'll lead you inside. Can you finally tell me what's the deal with this figurine? Why is it so important to you? He sighs. It's part of a larger collection which is being assembled in celebration of the Institute of Tchort's 100th anniversary. Indeed, Foundry was commissioned to create this beautiful work of art and send it to us. After some unfortunate delays, it was due to finally arrive. But the carriers of the figurine were intercepted. I was tasked to mobilize troops and retrieve it, and that is exactly what I did, with your help. Soon it will be back in Aiden's hands, as it should be. Happy now? If you'd let me have the figurine, I'll be glad to show you to the interview room. I'm ready. Take this. The Freighter Denzel slowly picks up the figurine and scrutinizes it. Despite the fact that his face is covered with a mask, you're certain that a pleased grin lurks behind it. His admiration doesn't last for long, though. He looks at you and signals for you to follow him. In we go. 4,000 XP. Let's quick save. Get inside, the Praeaster will be with you shortly. Okay. Room you're in has made you claustrophobic and uneasy. The room you're in made you claustrophobic and uneasy from the start. Not necessarily by the fact that the room is indeed small, but by how small your pool of options becomes should something unwelcome occur. You prepared yourself for the worst, knowing that you will be in an unfamiliar place where anything is possible and can go awry. Well, seeing this beautiful woman dressed in black robe, which almost inappropriately flows over her feminine features, accenting them enough even for the blind to see, was most certainly not what you were expecting. The deathly robe envelops her arresting face like a black whale being spilled over a shiny lump of gold. Her striking olivine-coloured eyes immediately meet yours. Her smooth face, free of imperfection, seems like it's been crafted out of marble by several of the finest artists in existence working together. Her golden hair, mostly concealed by the sinister hood, still manages to gently flow out of it and present its luxuriance. Her voice is much akin to her appearance. It too has a distinct, seductive charm. It resonates with appeal and warmth, and whilst being mostly level, it never becomes monotone nor boring. Tchort is evolution. I would like to welcome you to the Institute of Tchort. Postulant. My name is Amelia, and I am the Institute's prayer poster. Your name is Sarah Evenstar, if I am not mistaken. That is correct. Pleasure to meet you, prayer poster. She gives you a soft smile. Pleasure is mutual, Sarah Evenstar. Despite the current situation, you have somehow managed to find yourself before me. The Infiltrate was very convincing when he spoke to the rest of us about your deeds. Know that we are making an exception for you, just for you. I'm sure the Infiltrate told you our institution is not accepting new members. Now, I'd like to ask you several preliminary questions, general in nature, before we advance this interview. So you're interested in joining the Institute of Tchort and becoming a Tortoise, is that correct? That's correct, Briar Poster. I'd be delighted to join your organisation if you'd be willing to accept me. Tell me something of yourself, Sarah Evenstar. Where are you from? Southgate Station. Can you tell me what guides you through life? What motivates you? Try to give a concise answer. Let's have a look. Unquenchable thirst for knowledge guides me through life. I live to know more, and knowing more allows me to live on. Interesting. You feel that with that philosophy in mind, joining the Institute of Tchort is the right decision? I believe so. You believe so? How much exactly do you know about the Institute of Tchort and the general ideology of Tchortism? I have attended one of Minister Percival's lectures in Core City and was fascinated by what I heard during it. That was one of the main reasons I decided to come here. Very good, Sir Evenstar. Minister Percival is one of our finest propagators, and I'm sure his lecture was very insightful. Still, allow me to elaborate our ideology, just to make sure you're familiar with, at least for now, its main principles. Afterwards, you will have to make one final choice, joining our institution or not, if you're willing. The Institute of Tchort is an institution dedicated to the study and celebration of Tchort, a primordial being that was discovered in deep caverns nearly 100 years ago by Idine, founder of this institution, as well as Tchortism. What he had discovered then and there was magnificent. The creature had been undergoing a unique cycle of regeneration. It was completely formless, changing and adapting to the current environment. Since Idine was, and still is, the only person that could communicate with Tchort, he was able to study it and uncover what secrets it holds within its magnificent genome. He learned that Tchort holds the key to evolving the human race to new heights, one day perhaps, through directed evolution. As Idine originally named it. Humankind will hopefully find a way to adapt to life on the surface and escape this gloomy underworld. Principally, Tchort represents two things, physical being and the knowledge it holds. Consequently, Tchortism, being guided by Tchort, aims to direct human evolution with its help. In essence, it is who Tchortists are and what we stand for, which brings us to the next question. Tell me, Sir Evenstar, do you still stand by your previous decision? Do you still wish to become a member of the Institute of Tchort? If your answer is positive, then we can finally start with the second phase of the interview. I have to say I got even more excited about Tchortism after what you've told me. I'm more than ready. She smiles. Very good. I'm pleased to hear that, even though that is the answer I expected from you. Now, allow me to explain what happens next. I'm going to be asking you a set of questions, simple questions that require no hard thinking, only honesty. You will answer these questions and any sub-questions that might arise during the process. Don't worry, this won't take long. So, let us begin with the first question. She takes a single piece of paper containing the questions. She clears her throat and begins. Have you been sent in knowingly to injure Tchortism? No. She looks at you a bit longer than usual, after which she writes something on the paper. Next question. How do you feel about Tchortism? I think it makes a lot of sense, and that it's the path I want to take. Very good. Next question. Do you think there's anything wrong with you having your privacy invaded? It depends on the situation. If it's for the greater good, then no, I do not think it's wrong. Otherwise, I'm not too keen on the concept. Interesting. Next question. Have you ever been a drug addict? No. Next question. Have you ever killed anyone? Only when it was necessary. Next question. Are you upset by this questioning? No. Why would I be? Next question. Do you hope you won't be found out? I have nothing to hide. That's my answer. She crosses her arms and observes you, occasionally moving her head from left to right and vice versa. Before you get a chance to break the silence, she uncrosses her hands and asks the next question. Next question. Have you ever smothered a baby? What? No, what kind of sick person would do something like that? You'd be surprised what different breeds of people come here. Next question. Have you ever eaten human flesh? Not knowingly. Next question. Would you be willing to sacrifice the lives of several innocent people to save one dear to you? I'm going to have to just quickly... Well, I mean... Yes. I see. Next question. Have you ever felt that there is another creature in your body? No. Next question. Did you ever hurt yourself? Only if one of my own grenades lands too close. Otherwise, no. A barely visible quirk appears on the corner of her mouth, threatening to manifest itself into a real, honest smile. Sadly, it lasts but a fraction of a second. Last question. Have you ever been a spy for anybody? I worked for one of the core city oligarchs in the past, if that counts. Which one? Cortec. She puts the paper down and looks you straight in the eye. Why are you really here, Sarah Evenstar? To join the Institute of Tchort. It seems quite unexpected. Oh boy. Fuck nuts. Yeah. Well. That's really fucking annoying. I will be back when we're back into the... when we're back. Okay, and we're back. So with this time we're going to choose no, is the answer. Preposter Amelia looks at the paper, inspecting all the notes she took during the interview. Afterwards she puts it away and gives you the familiar too long for comfort stare. Luckily it ends with a pleasant smile. Very good, Sir Evenstar. Very good. Those are all the questions I had for you. Now I'd just like to ask you to give me a sample of your blood. Okay, I have no objections to that. Preposter Amelia pulls out a strange device. It looks like a large black ornamented syringe with a see-through tube that has tiny metal tentacles climbing towards the needle. Twisting around the device, she inserts the needle into your flesh. Externally you feel but a little sting. Internally you feel your heart pounding faster and faster. Fortunately the procedure is over quickly. She pulls out the needle with a smile, and the syringe is now full of your blood. She places a gauze on the wound before stepping away. That's all I need. Please wait for me whilst I return. Yes, Arianstar. It won't take long. Congratulations, postulant, or should I say, novitiate. You've been selected, therefore you've been granted membership at the Institute of Tchort. I suspect you're tired. It was a long and challenging day for you, I'm sure. So I'll give you a very brief rundown of what awaits you within the Institute. As of now, you're a novitiate. A novitiate. A new member of the Institute of Tchort whose first task is to familiarise herself with Tchortism, obtain necessary knowledge, and find her place within the institution. We offer many means to do so, but we will get to that later. The next thing I must tell you is about the three main divisions of the Institute of Tchort: preservation, investigation, and propagation. Each of these three divisions has a specific purpose. Preservation exists to protect or preserve Tchort, Indiane, and the Institute and all of its members, and prides itself with its highly trained and well-equipped individuals. Investigation, on the other hand, concerns itself with obtaining, organising, and applying knowledge, studying Tchort and the world around us with the ultimate goal of directing human evolution towards a better future. Finally, propagation exists to educate, propagate said knowledge both within the Institute of Tchort as well as beyond. I hope you're following me so far, Sarah Evenstar. Novitiates are free to select what suits them best. After they have studied enough and made up their mind, they can select anything they like and perform their part within the Institute of Tchort. Currently, since propagation is undergoing an internal restructuring phase, becoming an acolyte at this stage is highly improbable, so investigation or preservation are divisions I would direct you to for the time being. Of course, if you're really patient and willing, propagation will too open its doors to you at some point. A few more principal things before I finally let you go and rest. As a member, you're granted your own bed in the Institute's sleeping quarters, and a personal locker for your belongings. Also, your medallion and your robe have already been placed in it. Now you can find the quarters by going down to the right set of stairs. Just after entering the main hall, opposite that, left from the entrance, is the refectory. I think you might be more familiar with the term canteen. The Institute Library, Iden's library, is at the second floor to the left, and probably the most important place for novitiates. That is where you can read about our history, scientific works, and most importantly, read the original report. The original report? It describes Iden's first encounter with Tchort, his thoughts and impressions, and documents the beginning of his research. It is an essential read for every Tchortist. Again, Iden's library should be one of your first stops. While we're on the subject of the library, I must add this. The old destroyed section of the West Wing has recently been reopened by the preservation forces. A Rassafort expedition was dispatched there. It's extremely dangerous, and whilst it's guarded by Rassaforts, I must still warn you to avoid it until after it's been sealed again. Is that everything I should know? One more thing, and we're done. Official greeting and manners of address. When first starting a conversation with any members of the Institute of Tchort, it's custom for the first speaker to say, "Tchort is evolution," to which the other party replies, "Evolution is Tchort." The meaning of the greeting is clear, I hope. Commonly you may refer to Tchortists as brother or sister, based on their gender, but if they hold a higher title, a certain ability, then you should address them appropriately. This is already too much information for you. In time you'll learn everything, and you are free to go and get some rest, sister. If you have more questions, ask now or find me in my office at the top level. I'd be glad to answer all the questions you may have about the Institute of Tchort. I had some questions before you leave. What can you tell me about yourself? I'm sorry, Sir Evenstar, but I would rather not speak of myself. The only thing I'm willing to tell you is that I'm Institute born, and I have been a dedicated Tchortist for the entirety of my life. Have any other questions to novitiate? I'm interested in some directions. Are there any merchants around here? Food and drink can be purchased from the refectory, weapons and ammo in the preservation armory. East wing, second floor. For medicine and other medical equipment, talk to our proto-physician, investigator of medicine, Franz. Also, one of the 3 investigation departments might also help you with more specialised equipment should you need any of that. Medical office, same section as the sleeping quarters at the very end of the corridors near the room you're residing in. You cannot miss it, Sir Evenstar. Where should I go if I'm interested in working for the preservation? Second floor, east wing. Although if you enter it through the main hall, you will arrive in the central area with a fountain. Once there, take the only stairs up and you'll soon come to his nobility, Immediate Samuel's office. Seek him if you're interested in learning more about preservation and becoming a Rassafort. And if I'm interested in working for an investigation. Investigations consist of 3 departments: genetics, chemistry and physics. All 3 departments have their laboratories and offices located in the east wing. Each department is overseen by a principal investigator. They can help you if you're interested in any of the mentioned fields or seek work. That's all. Can you tell me more about the West Wing? The West Wing was in ruins long before the existence of the Institute of Tchort. It was always sealed off from the rest of the building. When the great earthquake of year 24 struck and demolished the library, refectory and good part of the main hall, a discussion took place about whether to restore the West Wing together with everything else. Since the Institute building is very large, and especially back when the number of members was smaller, there was no need to rebuild the severely damaged West Wing. It would take away too many resources from other more important things. Therefore the entrance was sealed again whilst other damaged sections were repaired. Excuse me. As years passed, various creatures found their homes in the darkness of the West Wing. People began complaining about scratching sounds coming from the walls, hearing strange voices calling them. Some even mentioned seeing faceless looking at them from the ventilation grates or other lightless openings. Of course, some of these were just wild exaggerations and outstanding interpretations conjured by petrified minds. But the fact that the West Wing wildlife had expanded was a real proven issue. In year 67, more than 40 years after the West Wing had been demolished, a Rassafort expedition led by a freighter Gromus was dispatched to cull the overpopulated wildlife. The operation was a success for a time. Culling was going as planned for 2 days. It was slow and methodical due to the West Wing's size and danger factor. Then, after 2 days, contact was lost with the whole expedition. Only one Rassafort returned, mutilated beyond recognition. The poor man dragged the upper half of his severed body back to the checkpoint, but only just. He died moments after seeing his brothers and sisters watching him in horror. The cut that severed his body in half was astoundingly clean, and to this day no one is sure what the creature was capable of managing something like that. The West Wing was closed and remained closed for 30 more years until it was reopened recently. Ian, pardon me, I suppose I should have shortened the story, but there is something fascinating about it, something mysterious. Well, did you have any more questions? That's all I need to know for now. Then welcome to the Institute of Tchort, sister, and Tchort guide you. Excellent! So, before we leave, I just want to find the... a quick save everywhere I go, because this isn't red. That's the Piam. Tchort's evolution, brother. Not the Merciful turns to you and silently watches you for a few moments as if expecting you to say something first. He raises his head slightly and answers with a slow, unhurried voice. Evolution is Tchort, sister. I am Merciful Piam, and I'm in charge of monitoring and security. What can I do for you? Are you in charge of opening the main gate? Yes, that is correct. All arrivals and departures are carefully monitored from this very room, and if you, for instance, wish to leave the building, you would have to use that intercom there to state the reason for your movement. Every time someone has to enter or leave, they have to answer to you. Well, I'm certainly not going to question their ability regarding the reasons for leaving or entering the Institute building. Magnificent Tchort, no. But we can't have, for instance, a noviate like you simply stroll in and out however he pleases without answering to anyone. Procedures are there to be followed and respected, and if it's bothering you, you'd better adapt to it. Do fights or shootouts ever occur between people right outside the main gate? Fights? Rarely. Shootings? Never. Sometimes a brawl would break out, but mostly between inbreds who aren't worthy of our attention in the first place, and had just arrived to cause trouble. Still, when these things do occur, you usually react quickly and deal with the situation. Tchort guide you, brother. And Tchort guide you, sister. Goodness, we are close to levelling. Actually, I just want to come in here. Okay, so that just shows you inside that room. Seems like I'm okay to bring my weapons. Let's try down here. Ah, this is the cafeteria. Let's talk to Theodore. Ted, Theodore, Logan. The man behind this counter strikes you as being calm, friendly, and radiates a positive attitude. Appearance-wise, young and handsome are the words that describe him most accurately. Whilst his confident posture is also difficult to ignore. He greets you with a familiar Tchortist salute. Tchort's evolution system. My name is Theodore, often called Theo by almost everyone. He smiles. How may I help you? Evolution is Tchort, brother. I'm Sir Evenstar. Welcome to the Institute of Tchort, sister. My institution is very different from those on the outside, I'm sure. But you'll get used to it. Don't worry. Show me what you've got. I'm starving. Today we have... looking to buy 2 foodstuffs, eh? Sea beetle brain soup. That's pretty cool. Pickled mushrooms. What don't I need? Honestly, I'm happy with all of that. Okay, let's head back. There's no doors here, so everything would be through a different area. Interesting. Haha, plague pool. Love it. Okay, so that's red, that's red. But there's no one here to tell me it's red. Okay. Let's close the door. Let's go here, quick save. Oh boy. Let's wait for you to go. really. Okay, oh, let's head this way then. On the show, let's have a look at the vase. Got some bullets. Vases. I had not realised we had numerous things down here to pick and choose from. Battery. Okay, that was empty. Actually, let's take all and we will just unlock this. And that. And a scrap of paper, let's quick save. Save. Take that. Take that. Take that. Shit, I didn't. I really... I was never there. Phew. Anything interesting in here? No. So let's go further along. Okay, so we can't get those drawers. Damn it, I thought. It's annoying. I want to steal things. Okay, let's talk to Franz. An unexpectedly tiny and shy voice comes out of this lofty man. Whilst he's loud enough for you to hear him, you can't shake off the feeling that the sound of a humble fly gliding into the room would overpower his voice. Fortunately, nothing similar happens during his introduction. Tchort is evolution. My name is Franz, and I'm investigator of medicine and Institute's proto-physician. You must be Sarah Evenstar. Usually our fellow Tortoises refer to me as I am, to which I have no objection. How may I help you? Tchort guide you, Franz. Tchort guide you too, sister. Can I purchase some medication? I can help you with that, sister. I'll show you what I have. Does he have anything that I don't know? He does, a Syrian Vigorator, but I'm not really interested in that. What I am interested in is frankly nothing. You can have that. It's got morphine. It's really got nothing of any use whatsoever. Give him that. Four medicines. Get rid of a touch of weight. Okay, I can't get back there. That is fair enough. Let's grab whatever's in the vase. and in this vase, which is nothing, and in this vase here, shotgun shells, this vase here, fabric scraps. Let's head in here. Lazy Lal and Tortoise and footlockers that we can't get to. No, can't get in there. No, I said no. No, can't activate the vase. Good God. Which one's mine? How do I get to the shopping area? Let's go in here. Let's go up here. Let's go this way. Anything? Let's go have a look in the vases because I like looking in vases because they're nice and simple sources of loot. And the name of the game in this place is to deal with much lootable substance as possible. So, come on. Let's quick save and go down here. I think I'm going to leave it here because we've done a fair bit and we're running on for time. So thank you ever so much for watching. If you've enjoyed, please subscribe. If not, do not worry about it. Thank you again, and I'll see you next time when we do more exploring of the Tchort Institute, which is looking really quite impressive, frankly. Yeah, and we'll take a look up here at the quest books later. Okay, see you next time. Goodbye.